Hello, everyone, Wastelanders and Adventurers. This is the PIPCAST 3000, episode 67. I am Caedo Genesis. I'm joined by my co-host, BADCompanySarge.
You are.
And we talk about video games and Fallout and news surrounding those things, and sometimes go off topic. Probably a lot, actually. But we're doing the thing. This is a bi-weekly podcast. Every other Sunday, goes up on 10 a.m. Pacific, and we have a few news things. Man, I am not great. Okay, so I haven't slept since going and drinking, so this is fun.
It is a drunk.
It's like the after effects. Like, I'm sobered up, but like the energy is still gone from me. So that's a fun experience. Anyway, we got stuff about Cyberpunk and Skyrim and Kingdoms of Amalur and my dude Kojima and Soulja Boy for some reason.
Yeah.
As well as Quake and Black Myth Wukong and Razer's RGB face mask beta. And our topic is going to be, what features from 76 would you like to keep for Fallout 5, since we both have experience with that. It was by Kingman212 on the Fallout subreddit. Quite a few things to talk about, I think.
Yes.
But before we get there, we have a tip of the day and a comment of the cast. Would you like to take the comments while I take the tip of the day?
That sounds good, because I don't even understand the tip of the day, so it would be very bad the other way around.
Okay. Yeah, but as I was rereading it, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. My tip of the day, for everyone listening, listen very carefully. Check your window. Check your window. If it needs to be open, open it. If it needs to be shut, shut it. Because it's been summertime-ish, and I know I'm trying to limit the amount of time that I have my air conditioner on. Some people don't even have air conditioners where they have to have the window open and a fan blowing air around, circulating a little bit.
That's
so
me.
If it's, you know, if it's late at night, I end up getting to the point to where I open up the window and open up some of the windows in the front room and start getting cool air circulating through the apartment. So it's nice for a good chunk of the next day. So that's the roundabout way of the check the window thing. That's kind of what I was getting at. Or your car windows. You should check your car windows too.
Yeah. Always be paranoid that someone's about to break into your car. Even when you're driving, like, down the middle of the highway.
Well, I have a solution to that.
In.
Don't own a car.
That is the ultimate life hack right there. Man.
When I get the car insurance, either car insurance or extended warranty, like vehicle stuff, I'll be like, I don't have a car, and they just say thank you or just hang up.
Yeah,
it's pretty great. Anyway, we get comments of the cast. We have a couple from the last episode where we talked about what personal strange quirks that we have when playing the Fallout games.
Yes. I'm supposed to pick up from that.
Go ahead, yes.
Yes. Sorry, took me a second. Okay, so first up we have Dreestrada02, apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong, who says, "Hey Caedo Gen CS. I know this might come off as crazy, but I've never completely played through New Vegas." What? I always begin a playthrough and lose focus halfway through the first act. I'm playing through 3 again and about to finish it. After I want to play New Vegas, are there any types of builds you'd recommend? I'm currently playing an NG build on Fallout 3. Anyways, I've been a long time fan. Keep up the amazing work. Alright, Caedo, you're the build man. What build should they play?
Sarge, what? That's
Come on,
that's a lie. You're a liar.
I am.
You're deceiving everyone. That's a good laugh. I prefer playing explosives unarmed or explosives melee because it's just fun. It's just fun blowing things up and punching them across the desert. But Sarge, you're actually the builds guy.
I am.
What would you recommend?
I'd recommend, I mean, if you enjoy energy builds, as it seems you may do from what little context we get of this comment, I'd recommend going for an energy builds in New Vegas. Go to the Silver Rush, and there's tons of energy weapons there.
Mm-hmm.
And before that as well, keep an eye out for recharger rifles and pistols, because even if you've not got energy ammo, those things are great. And whenever I played an energy weapons build in New Vegas, I just used them constantly, up until, like, the end game, where you really shouldn't be using them, but I was like, well, I've got to save all of my ammo, come on, I can't spend my ammo just because I'm against Legatlanius now.
What if I need it?
Yeah. What if it turns out that if you don't fire a single unrechargeable shot in the game, that there's suddenly 20 extra hours of content no one's discovered? What then?
That's what the ammo benches and science stuff is for, so you can make more.
I don't want to waste my time crafting the stuff, Caedo. I want to waste my time waiting for my gun to recharge.
You and your hoarding. It's too. You should just be melee all the time. Like, you can just, you'll never use ammo. You can sell it, get more caps, and you'll have forever
melee
caps.
all the time means you get hit, and then you need to use healing items.
Yeah.
But I can't use my healing items, which is why I stay way far back with the highest damage, longest range weapon, so I can fire one bullet per kill and don't have to worry about it.
You are unbelievable.
I and my playthroughs with so much stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also a short one from Archmage73 who just says, my quirk is switching between first and third person. I mostly play in third, but I love being able to switch. I think that is my favourite mechanic in gaming. And I think we kind of both agree to some extent that, like, being able to switch between first and third person is amazing. It really is. And I want more games to do it.
If the first and third person animations matched up a little bit better, and timings for things were better, I'd be more happy with it.
Yes, if things were better, they would be better.
If things were better, they'd be better.
But I think overall, it is very cool how certain games let you play in first and third person, especially if you're like me, and only one of those perspectives doesn't mess with your mind entirely.
Yeah. In Fallout 4, there's finishers you can only do in third person, and it's annoying. I'm assuming you knew about that.
I've forgotten about it. I mean, if you'd asked it to me as a question, I'd probably go, yeah, I guess.
And there's, like, timing differences in some of the other ones, too.
I mean, once again, I'm not much of a melee person.
Oh, it's, gun bashing, too.
The gun bashing I always remember just for two animations, which is the 10mm pistol or the rifle butt. Those are the only two I ever remember. Because I don't really use gun bashing all that much. Because I'm a sniper, Caedo.
Yeah.
If I'm gun bashing someone, something's gone horribly wrong.
Gosh dang snipers.
If my enemy can even see me, then I'm too close. I need to be at least 10 miles away. Just why Bethesda? You need to increase the range of sniper rifles. Why give me access to a long scope if I can't hit the enemies I can see through it?
Oh, we can get to that. Well, man, we can get to that with the Fallout topic.
Sure, yeah. Okay, actual news now, though. Actual news.
Yes.
Because stuff has happened. Quite a few things.
Yes, it's a good news 2 weeks.
Yeah. But first thing to go through is Cyberpunk.
Ha! Not tired of hearing about Cyberpunk.
I was holding for applause there. It didn't appear to be any. That's a little unusual. Anyway, Cyberpunk patch 1.3 has dropped. And it's such a big patch that the patch notes are in 2 parts.
It's bigger than the last big patch.
Yeah.
Like, it's got more.
It has
things fixed than the last one.
I mean, it is 99% just this minor thing in this one quest or one issue is fixed. For example, in the quest I Walk the Line, the doors leading to Netwatch Netrunner will now properly open after defeating Sasquatch. It's just one of 100 identicals, which see 100 nearly identical things. Which is just blistering love, fixed an issue where the quest wouldn't update after arriving with Rogue at Silver Pixel Cloud. It's just so much of like, this thing wasn't working, we fixed it. That's the overwhelming majority of the Cyberpunk patch. However, the exciting thing, which everyone loves, is the free DLC has started for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And patch 1.3 delivers with a trio of DLCs that are free for Cyberpunk.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
Wow.
They must make the game so much better now. They're great, aren't they?
They are. I only saw one and suddenly didn't care.
Oh, okay, well, I'll go through them. So the first one, first big DLC we're getting is Johnny Silverhand's alternate appearance, which you can enable in the settings in the additional content tab. So instead of Johnny Silverhand looking one way, he looks slightly different.
Yep.
Woo! DLC!
Yeah.
Okay, second one. We now have multi-layered sin leather Delta Jock jacket and luminescent punk jacket are both available in the Stash and V's apartment after receiving a message from Victor after completing the ride. Yeah, jackets! Oh man, if you were hyped by those previous two DLCs, then the third one is gonna blow you away.
Did I ever reiterate recently how much I love making videos on new games? Just love it so much. When they have a bazillion updates and bug fixes, then squeeze more content in after everything's fixed like a year later.
I mean, it's not like they'd add in new uniques or change the balance of weapons in a single player game or anything. That would have all been sorted beforehand. So any guides that YouTube has made initially in order to make sure they actually got the people who are interested in watching will definitely hold up. And it's not like remaking the guide to change like one or two minor things. We're completely screw with analytics and there's a ton of work for very little gain. So it just results in in an area where there's so many guides which are technically out of date, but not so much that you can change them. That doesn't happen.
No,
and it's all lies.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, mark my words. My guide will still be the most complete out of any.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my foot down right now. Mine's gonna be the most complete, even a year or two after Cyberpunk is getting its stuff together. I mean, I almost said a bad word.
My Fallout 76 beginner's guide, it's definitely out of date now, but it's still one of the ones that people go to who are like, oh yeah, this is still really helpful. Even though I made that like a few years ago maybe now, and there's been so many patches.
Yeah,
and it's just like, no, the general principles still apply for the most part.
I was genuinely satisfied when I finished that guide. Not happy, but satisfied.
Yeah,
with how the guide was, how it turned out.
It's like when you got a huge pile of washing up, you get it all done, and then you look over and there's no more washing up to do. It's just it's a good feeling.
Yeah, and then you don't use those dishes till like 5 months later.
Yeah.
That's a perfect metaphor for what actually happened.
Well, I should probably mention the final DLC because I'm sure everyone listening is on the seat of their chairs. And final thing is Archer Quartz Bandit. Sounds interesting. Available as a reward or for purchase, depending on choices made by the player.
Oh.
After completing Ghost Town, and then receive a message from Dakota or Rogue. If you haven't received a message, make sure to be in the Badlands area and move further away from Dakota's workshop. Dakota will also need a couple of days to contact you. I really like how the end of it is just like them preempting everyone not getting this and it not working properly.
Before you think we're idiots, it's you guys.
Yeah, you're not playing the game right. Why do you keep doing this? Oh, why do you keep doing it?
That's funny.
It's also worth pointing out that the Archer Quartz Bandit is it's just a car.
Yep.
It's just another car that you get.
And it's one of many Archer Quartz vehicles.
Yeah. There's a ton of them.
The easiest car to steal from people, and when I played, handled the best on the road.
Good.
But I haven't played it since the car handling and stuff update as well.
I will say on top of that, the jackets.
Gotta scrap that video.
Yeah. The jackets look tacky to me. I'm not a fan of the jackets. Just personal preference, of course. And Keanu's new look is worse, in my opinion.
Where are you seeing the jackets?
I googled it.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah, that's right. I did extra research in the middle of the show.
That's fine.
No, the jackets don't look particularly good. Like, they're not... None of this is, like, terrible stuff. But it's definitely not the kind of thing that I could see anyone getting actually excited about. Even people who enjoy Cyberpunk and really liked the game. This isn't the kind of thing that they're going to be like, yes! Because I keep, from time to time, going and looking at, like, different people's opinions of Cyberpunk. And it's a very divisive game. Because there's a lot of people who are like, no, this is the greatest thing ever. This is exactly what I wanted from a game. And it's all because, like, the story really resonates with them. And that's exactly the story they wanted. And then there's everyone else who's like, it's broken. I don't think it's very good. And those are the two opinions.
Yeah.
And I don't think this DLC really helps with either of them. It's just some extra stuff, which isn't going to bring back players who left the game because they didn't think it was very good overall or were annoyed with bugs. And the fans who really like it are going to get, like, 10 minutes of entertainment out of this DLC tops?
Yeah. It's not super exciting. It's good that the game's getting fixed.
Yes, that is a good point.
But not something we should congratulate them for.
No. But speaking about pointless updates, which don't really add to the game all that much and just seem to be like things to get a bit of extra publicity, Skyrim!
Skyrim!
Hey everyone, remember how much you liked Skyrim?
Remember that little indie game?
Yes. All the memes about Skyrim and how Bethesda released it so many times. Oh.
And Todd Howard literally telling everyone to stop buying it?
Yeah. Well, you didn't. So there's another Skyrim.
Yep.
And if you buy this one, and they make another one, it's because you bought this one.
Yep. This is the ultimate, most definitive edition of the 10-year anniversary.
It's stupid now. Yes, it's the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition.
Yes.
Which is, yes, the Anniversary Edition includes Skyrim Special Edition and 74 creations, all 48 currently available and 26 to be released. These showcase over 500 plus individual elements such as quests, item, armor, houses, etc. Skyrim Special Edition plus 500 plus Creation Club elements. That's right, it's Skyrim Creation Club Edition.
Yep. Okay. So this makes it sound like you won't be able to uninstall any Creation Club content, and it's all in there.
I mean, you already can't uninstall Creation Club content.
Yeah, I know. But it's more of a, like, you don't. I wonder if there will be like a checkbox thing where you can pick and choose, or if it's just all included, you don't get a choice.
Gonna be all of it. All of it, I bet. I mean, at this point, they should have. That has got to be like the most requested thing for Creation Club, is just like a toggle on and off.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
Nope.
That's it. That's just it. Okay. Well, if on the bright side, if you own Skyrim Special Edition on Game Pass, PS5, Xbox Series X/S, and I think that's it. Yeah, if you own it on any of those, then you get where is it? Yeah, a free upgrade to an enhanced version on November 11th.
Yeah,
yay!
That includes what? Fishing, survival mode, and something else.
New quests with saints and seducers.
Ah, yes. Yeah. More fun with the Mad God.
Yes.
Yay.
I have survival mode because they actually gave it away for free when it first came out, and it is fine, I guess. It's not like a good survival mode.
Doesn't hold a candle to Fallout 4.
Oh no, Fallout 4 survival mode is one of the best like game modifier things out there. And fight me.
Yeah.
Preferably in survival mode, where I'll hang back with a sniper and shoot you once and you'll die because that's how damage works.
Look at Sarge here with his sniper rifle.
And then I'll fall off a bridge and die. Or I'll get shot once and die. Or I'll blink and I'll die. Fallout 4 Survival was very brutal. I love it.
Or get one of those heat-seeking boulders that the behemoths throw.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't think I've ever fought a behemoth in survival mode. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not at all.
A basic raider can kill you. Like, you go to Concord, and it's just like, oh, someone had a shotgun? Yeah, you died. I'm sorry. Restart the game.
Yeah, one of the first things I did in my survival stream, I think, was take on a behemoth. I had a lot of bottle cap mines that it went okay.
Oh, okay. Well, technically, I have taken on a behemoth because Swan, but Swan's so easy to kill.
Oh yeah,
Swan's a freebie, basically.
There's also there's so much cover there. Yeah. Like you're fine.
There's so much cover, you can just throw down mines everywhere. You can it's the easiest one. Anyway, back to Skyrim.
The one okay.
Because we're tangenting. Not allowed to talk about Fallout. What kind of podcast do you think this is?
This isn't behemoths. This is dragons.
Yeah, dragons.
Okay.
The article also says, existing owners of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition and Xbox Game Pass subscribers will also receive the option to purchase an Anniversary Edition upgrade for the Special Edition version of the game to gain access to all the additional content found in the Anniversary Edition. My fear with this thing is that it will just basically overwrite Skyrim Special Edition with Anniversary Edition, and then you'll have the latest version of Skyrim with a bunch of mods that you can't uninstall.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people who are like, oh, I've got my modding list exactly how I want it. Why are they going to take that away? To those people, I would say, do not get this at all. Like, if you've got mods you're already happy with, avoid this. What I am hoping for is that I'll be able to keep Skyrim Special Edition installed and also have an install of Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Because, I mean, we're Bethesda content creators, basically. Mm-hmm. And this should be like a windfall for us. It should be great. We should be here being like, yes, so many more views and stuff. But it's like, we've already made all the videos we really can on the game.
I mentioned after linking it in my Discord server that I'm looking forward to about a year from now, or a year after this Anniversary Edition comes out, where people start pointing out things in my guides that are missing. That are Creation Club content, because that's going to happen.
Oh, that's so
going to
fun.
happen.
Man. I mean, it already happens so much with just people being like, oh, I've got this mod, so therefore all the stuff you've said is wrong.
Yeah, oh, dude. Oh, so many times. Oh, unofficial patch screws everything up. Yeah. I hate it. It's good, actually. But I hate that they took liberties. That's all. I'm sassy today. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a grumpy pants.
Maybe when this comes out, I'll make like some Skyrim Anniversary Edition builds. That could be something fun to do with it potentially, but I think the biggest thing is if they've got the toggle off-on option for the Creation Club things.
I want to double check something actually.
Okay.
I want to see how many, because you can set the game when you upload a video. I want to see how many Skyrims there are, because I haven't looked in a while.
It's got to be all of them.
Go down.
I mean, off the top of my head, I can name Skyrim, Skyrim Game of the Year Edition, Skyrim Special Edition, and Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Just like instantly, that's 4 versions of Skyrim, which are all distinct versions. And I'm sure there's...
I think there's only 3.
No, I just named 4.
Huh?
You can't tell me there's 3 when I named 4 of them.
There's the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition, the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim VR, the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition, plus Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition for some reason.
Well, you've missed out the Game of the Year Edition of, whatchamacallit, Skyrim, I mentioned there. And there's the Anniversary Edition, which is coming. Yeah, okay.
So there will be a few.
Okay, Skyrim VR, I honestly count as kind of separate, but I guess that's an edition as well. There you got Basic Edition, Game of the Year Edition, Special Edition, VR, then Anniversary. That's like, I'd say 5 distinct ones, and I'm sure there's like some very minor stuff as well, where it's like, oh no, they released it one time with a dent in the box, therefore it's a different edition. Or it's some weird thing that some of the player base goes for.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it averages out every couple of years you get a Skyrim.
Yep, we can't get away from it.
We can't. We really can't. It's impossible.
Unless the Elder Scrolls 6 goes blah and we just lose our minds.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls. Oh man, I hope it's good. We
Yeah.
Caedo and I were browsing Reddit earlier.
Yes.
In order to get the Fallout topic, and there was a complete moron on there who was just
oh wow, on Reddit, interesting.
yeah, who was just it was in regards to our topic, which we'll get to later, about like what features from 76 would you like to keep for Fallout 5, where Kingman 212 he'd just been like, yeah, what the next Fallout 5, what things from that would you want on? And the person was just like, oh, you sweet summer child, Fallout 5's never going to exist. It's just going to be like the Elder Scrolls 6. You know, that game that's never going to exist. And totally hasn't been announced already. That game's never coming out. Never.
Wow. Yeah.
People did the same thing with Fallout 4, but at least then, it was before Fallout 4 had been announced.
Yeah.
I remember. I'm old enough that I remember back in the days when people were like, no, I don't think Fallout 4 is ever coming out. I think they're going to call the franchise now.
And they didn't spend a whole long time on advertising either. On most of their releases, actually. Bethesda's been fairly good at that, you know.
For the most part, yeah.
It's coming out in a few months. Yay!
Yeah, I mean, this one is literally like, what? A few months away? Literally a few months away? We're in August. Yeah, September, October, then November. No, it's a few months. And hopefully it will provide a year's worth of content, because then we can just jump straight into Starfield. Oh, it'll be great.
Hope so.
You know what a lot of people say about all the re-releases of Skyrim?
Sarge, you're freaking... The headlines you wrote make it very confusing as to what's actually in the article.
Hey, it's fine. So
I'm gonna put these on screen, Sarge. You know that.
Yeah, do it. So the latest true cash grab, which shows off just how little the people know when they claim that all of these video games are cash grabs, is the Vault Dweller's Welcome Kit, which you can pre-order, and what you get is a box with stickers in it, and stop laughing, Caedo. It also has a letter telling you've been accepted into a vault that doesn't exist, and another sticker, an eye mask, a pencil, and a razor, and a toothbrush, and a few other like things which definitely must be pretty expensive to make.
The tin itself that these things come in actually has like a little projector thingy, you know the projectors with the circular
slide projector
films, the slide projectors, goggle things that we had as like 90s kids that nobody else remembers.
I mean, because I'm a zoomer, possibly, I only remember the really cheap versions of these, which you got as like, I'm not allowed to say the word on stream, but as specific rewards for some like arcade games and stuff. So I imagine the value was like a couple of quid potentially.
Yeah, it's not like everything in this little box of just stuff.
Yep.
Is a little disappointing.
Oh yeah.
A little bit.
You know what? Let's go through the entire list. Let's go through all of it, because I made a video recently where I talked about it.
Let's start with Did you say the price point?
No, I'm going to do that at the end. For anyone who doesn't know already, as we're going through this, tot up in your head what you think it's going to cost. Because you've got this fancy like tin box which works as a projector, which is probably the coolest part of it all. I think it's garbage.
Yeah, I do too.
So the kit, first up, is limited to 4,000 units worldwide. So this is an actual collector's item. There's only going to be 4,000 of them, so that immediately adds some value to it. But what you get is a registration ticket, acceptance letter, and dweller's residence keycard. So the whole kind of theme of this kit is, hey, you're a vault dweller, here's the stuff you'd get on going into a vault. So you get a ticket saying you're registered, an acceptance letter, hey, you got into the vault, and a keycard. Cool. You also get a quick action guide brochure. It's basically like a holiday guide, but for a vault. A fully illustrated Vault Dweller's Guidebook. More pictures. A detailed map of your vault, which is about 20 by 30 inches. So a decent sized map. Give it that. Also, some personal belongings, which is where the most memeable stuff comes from, including Vault-Tec toothbrush, eye mask, pencil, eraser, and isolation diary. Joke's on you, Bethesda. I've been keeping one of those for a year and a half now.
Good God. Okay, want to make sure everybody else knows that eye mask is a sleeping mask. It's labeled Vault-Tec. It's a sleeping mask, and it's dumb. It's
a thing. You also get conversation cards, the projector box, and 3, count that, 3, that's the number between 2 and 4 projector slide discs. 3 different things you can project through.
Yep.
I mean, that's got to be something. Also, I want to quickly, I'm trying to find the image of the cards, because I want to read out what these conversation cards have on them. Oh yeah, so they show 2 of the conversation cards on the image. First one: have you ever had an affair with Mr. Handy or Miss Nanny? First conversation card. Gets it started. Second one: how was your arrival at the vault? Was it a close call, or did you arrive with plenty of time to spare?
It's bad.
I am not good at conversing with people, and I would not talk like this. That's not how a conversation starter works. Like, how was your trip is kind of there, but it's also like a surprisingly pleasant tone for how we're all about to die. But the affair with a Mr. Hanny or Mr. Nanny is just like, hey, you like porking robots.
It's so stupid.
It's so stupid. Okay, that's not all you get, though, because you also get some trinkets. A Pip-Boy 3000 Mark IV coupon. A Vault-Tec metal souvenir emblem, a Vault-Tec postcard, and a Braxo sticker B. It's literally listed here as a Braxo sticker, and then the word B as in BE. Cool. And a Giddy Up sticker.
Mm-hmm.
And the pre-order items ships in January 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So you buy all of this now, you get it somewhere near the start of next year. Come on, viewers, how much do you think this is going to cost? Like, first off, Caedo, what do you think would be a reasonable price for all the stuff I just listed there?
All right, this is a decent sized tin with a cereal box prize of a projector.
Mm-hmm.
Hygiene items that are just supposed to be passing for props.
Yeah.
And about 70% paper.
There's a lot of paper. There is stuff on the paper.
There is stuff on the paper. But if I were getting something on paper, it would be a hardback.
Yeah, all of these do look very easily to tear. The brochure is like a standard holiday brochure.
Yeah. All easily damageable.
Yeah. I mean, the tin's like a tin, right, as well.
Yeah, it is.
For any Yorkshire people out there, tin is what's going to happen to all of that stuff when you realise it's junk.
In the bin?
Sort of tin means it's not in the tin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Some northern knowledge for you there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I speak English. So come on, Caedo, give us a price point. What would you be willing to pay for this?
I'm already pretty, like, not about it at all.
Yep.
So, like, 30, 40 bucks.
Okay.
If that.
For me, it'd be like 20. $20 is the kind of thing where I'd be like, yeah, that seems reasonable.
If I really wanted it too, like, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Like, if I actually wanted it, I would maybe pay that much, but still, why?
Well, the reason why is because it's a total cash grab that costs $90.
Yep.
It's 90.
$90 pre-order.
Yep.
Of a bunch of paper in a tin with a toothbrush
and some stickers
and a sleeping mask.
Oh my god. People are gonna buy this.
Not cool. Yes, they are. In fact, I have actual proof of people buying that because I posted this in the subreddit and was very disappointed on a couple of the responses. But because it was a Fallout, like the general subreddit, like it got pushed down pretty quickly because It was like, oh, this is a cash grab. But people were like, yeah, I would spend $90 on this. I'm like, are you stupid?
67% upvoted on your thing, which only has one upvote.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's literally someone on here who says, as an avid Fallout collector and general fan of Vault-Tec, this is absolutely worth the money to go into my shelf.
It's not. It's not. Any other Fallout merch.
Wow, that is really cool in my opinion. Man, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You will always be surprised and disappointed in what fans consider appropriate merch. Like, the only thing I could see this being helpful for is the book, for one, being sold on its own.
Yeah.
Which would be fine. But also the props being in their own thing as sold as props for like cosplaying and stuff like that. But the rest is just not necessary at all.
I mean, even the props, I feel like most self-respecting cosplayers would not use them.
Or
they look trash.
Yeah, or get something commissioned or by like supporting local artists or artists in general. Or seeing some of the cool stuff that people have made on Etsy for sometimes way more affordable prices for quality stuff.
Oh yeah. So like, I mean, even looking at stuff like the eye mask, you can make that yourself. Buy a like sleeping eye mask, real cheap, some blue paint, and then just like cut out a Vault-Tec and the logo on like some cardboard and put it over the top, and then just spray your paint in yellow, and you get that exact same thing.
Yeah. And
it'll cost you $5 tops. And that's with buying materials that you'll then have plenty left over of.
Yep.
Man, this is...
cash grab!
Yeah. I made a video recently where I mentioned how people claim that the video games that Bethesda makes are cash grabs.
You mentioned this.
But, yeah.
I remember.
Video games are very rarely cash grabs. And even when they're called it, it's like, no, a ton of work went into this. Making a video game is a very hard process. And while some of them do make a lot of money, they're also a huge investment of years' worth of work, of dozens, potentially hundreds of people to make this product, which you buy for like... How much is it for a video game? Like $60? American money?
Yeah.
$60. This is plastic, paper, and tin garbage for the cost of a game and a half.
Yeah.
This is where the cash grab stuff comes in. Merchandising!
Yep. Yeah! So this is by... This particular piece of merch, down at the bottom it says created by Dr. Collector, which is... They've done multiple, like, welcome kits of this kind before. They did one for Nuka World as well. But they also did one for Ghostbusters, Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, and I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've literally got a term for this kind of product in my house, family, whatever. But I can't say it because it has a naughty word in it. But
box of schlock.
It's just a box of plastic crap. Is how we describe it. Even when it's not made of plastic, even when it's that kind of stuff, just plastic crap.
You would have a better haul from an arcade, I think.
Yeah. I've still got some stuff I've won from arcades in my room, just because they're fun little tiny trinkets. They don't take up much space. I don't have to worry about them, and it cost me literal pennies.
Yeah, and you got to enjoy yourself while winning them.
Yes, rather than
that
just
means
clicking a button
as well.
Yeah, the experience I'm sure was enjoyable at the time.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Well, so I would advise saving your money for literally anything else merch-wise.
Yeah.
Or another game that you'll get way more time out of than this.
You could literally become a patron of myself and of Caedo for 45 months. Both of us at $1 each. Instead, if you wanted to spend $90 and throw it at Fallout-based things.
Or join at the highest tier on my Patreon.
Yeah.
And spend that much in 2 months.
Yep.
I have 2 Wasteland Legends, Sven and 6. I don't get to say that enough. I don't say it at all in the outros, even though I'm supposed to. But special thank you to them, for sure. Anyway, how about something else that happened that was good, right?
I mean, I was going to talk about some developers who definitely couldn't afford this box.
Until now.
Ah, that's right, because the developers of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning are finally getting paid. And it's only taken 9 years since studio shut down. Yes, so the article here reads that 9 years after Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, developer 38 Studios was unceremoniously shut down. Some of its 400 laid-off employees are finally receiving some portion of their final paychecks. Sort of. Yeah. So, the company will pay many of its former staff members about 14% or 20% of what each employee is respectively owed, according to the bankruptcy documents. Woo! Who doesn't love getting a fifth of their paycheck?
Yeah.
Pre-taxes.
Let's
just wallow in sadness for a minute now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, for those who don't know, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning is an amazing fantasy RPG, which unfortunately did not do very well. It released, I can't remember if it was just before or just after Skyrim, but it was around Skyrim's time, and as we know, you cannot stop Skyrim. Nothing you do will ever stop it. So people had a different fantasy RPG they were playing instead, which kind of led to Kingdoms of Amalur falling to the wayside. And the company didn't do very well, and they were like, hey devs, why don't you just help us pay like the rent and mortgage of the places we're working at? We'll totally pay you back. If the people you're working for ask you for money, don't give it to them.
No.
It's a bonus tip of the day. Don't give your employer money.
No.
That's not the way around it goes.
That is not the... Nope.
And if it's going around that way for any reason, huge red flags, look for another job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it is genuinely very quite sad, this whole thing. But yeah, the employees have reported that some of them have received their paycheck this week, and other employees are having paychecks sent to old addresses, because unsurprisingly, in like the best part of a decade, they've moved house. Sometimes many times. So there's just random people getting checks.
Yeah. And that's another way of saying some of them may not be getting their money.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer. Well, at least some progress was made 9 years later.
Yeah. So, some employees made some of their paychecks. This was the good news story.
Yay!
Oh. I'm also very curious if Caedo puts in a full title that I put in the show notes.
Which one?
Kingdom of Amalur devs finally get paid. Capitalism works!
Oh, I'm putting all these in there.
Oh, nice. Nice. Woo, go capitalism! Oh, you don't need to pay your employees. Just give them a bit of cash in the future, it'll be fine.
Give them exposure.
Yeah.
As a bonus.
Hey, you're rich, don't worry about paying the people, the peasants, down on the floor who are just making the game. Nah. You keep that money, you look after yourself, you declare bankruptcy, you take money from the people who are working for you. That's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's move on. Let's move on to the friggin' silly Atari.
Yeah, let's go for something actually kind of funny, and where, I mean, people don't seem to be getting screwed over in quite the same way. So, legendary artiste Soulja Boy announced that he owns Atari. Yep, he specifically said, and I quote, "I own Atari, the first rapper to ever own a video game company." And there's nothing else to say, that's just the full news, right? That's
Yep.
just how it went. Soulja Boy owns Atari. No further digging needed here. Yeah. So Atari did actually tweet out. We know that CEO of Atari is a dream job, but that honor belongs to Wade Rosen. So apparently, Soulja Boy doesn't actually own Atari, according to Atari.
That got cut short really quick.
Yep. But no, Soulja Boy's just like, another quote, a great one, is, I just signed Tom Hanks' son, Chet Hanks. He got some fire music coming out. And I don't know if anyone listening will be familiar with Chet Hanks, but he's an interesting individual. Oh man, but it's just insanity. It's just insanity.
Does he just pick something that's trending and just make up a story?
Well, Soulja Boy actually has quite a long history with video games. He I think a recent thing he's done, which is actually quite good, is he teamed up with a company to promote like a handheld mobile gaming thing, kind of like a Game Boy looking thing, but with mobile games. And it just has like some Soulja Boy branding on it for a bit of publicity and stuff.
It wasn't the Soulja game, was it? The
Soulja game, I think.
Handheld that we talked about that was using poorly ripped ROMs?
I think that's a different one. I think he's done one now, which is actually with a company.
A different Soulja game. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's done a new one now.
The legit one.
Which is like, legitimately
now
with
we're
a
on the
company.
same
It's just some
page.
branding. He's also done that one where, that happened. But in the past as well, he made the Soulja Boy console, which was just also a bunch of, like, PS1 rips that were like pre-installed onto it with no licensing or stuff, and he got in trouble. Yeah, Soulja Boy's been trying to make that kind of stuff for ages. He's also made like phones and things, which are just like the Chinese basic phones with some branding on them. Soulja Boy is the modern true entrepreneur. He's just on that grind 24/7, selling video games, no matter whether or not he owns the right to the game, the console, or the company. He'll sell it to you.
Disrespect the hustle.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Never change, Soulja Boy. Never
so
change.
Silly. Keep going, bro. Keep going. One of these things will work.
You know what is genuinely quite nice is that it always seems to be the kind of news that's so ridiculous, but it feels like people aren't actually getting hurt from it.
Oh,
Which is rare these days. Normally when there's thing which is like, oh no, someone said something that wasn't true, here's all the backlash and the harm that came from it. This one's just kind of like, oh, Soulja Boy's being a bit stupid again. Let's all just have fun. Just lovely. That's how I want my news to be. Well,
maybe next time.
Maybe next time. You know what? We kind of have some fully positive news now. Because Caedo's BFF loves 12 minutes so much, he wants to make a new adventure game.
Yeah. What else?
Well, I thought you'd go off. This is your
I told you, freaking. I'm having a hard time today.
I know, but this is Kojima. Come on,
It's
Caedo. You love
Kojima-san.
Kojima. That's
Kojima.
it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kojima.
12 minutes. What? I'll do it. I'll do it. You got me going. I'll do it.
Yeah.
12 minutes is a game. It's a bit of a Groundhog Day situation told from a aerial view perspective of one single room.
Yep.
Where you relive a scenario where the main character and his wife are like having dinner or something like that, and then a cop breaks in and arrests her for some sort of crime, and you're trying to figure out through all of these loops after being killed or whatever as to what the real story is.
Yep.
Apparently Kojima really likes it and wants to make a new adventure game.
Yeah.
So
purely because of this. One thing that did stand out to me is, where is it? Oh, I'm trying to find the exact quote on here. Yeah, he says, 12 minutes, it's great. I lost track of time and just played it for about 4 hours. Which is a lot of time to be playing that game, I guess. But saying that you've been playing a game for about 4 hours feels like a small amount of time to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know it's not for everyone, and if you're not someone who's paid just to play video games like we are, then 4 hours can be a lot of time, and this is a short game from the looks of everything about it. So 4 hours is a lot of time. But throwing that on there it just kind of dulls the blade a bit for me of, yes, this is amazing. 4 entire hours of gameplay.
Wow. Well, like, you can put a decent experience in 4 hours, I think.
Oh yeah.
One of the games for Fallout fans is going to be a 2-hour one, actually. Yeah.
There are good games out there that are short. I mean, the BioShock games aren't particularly long, and they're like hugely praised.
Some really good games don't have to be long.
Yeah. For me, though,
knock them out in an afternoon.
Yeah, length always matters for me, and I can be happily quoted on that.
Wow.
Yep, I said it.
Is that where we're going today?
Not everyone's going to agree, but for Sarge, it needs to be nice and long. What? I like long video games. I want to get a lot of time playing them.
Yep, that's the quote.
Yeah.
That's definitely what you're going to get quoted on, Sarge. Yes. Good job.
That's exactly how it's
Sarge.
Go.
2021.
2021. Man. How about 1996?
Whoa!
The best year, objectively. As we all agree on it. Yeah! It's the year I was born. Everything before that sucked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things only started getting good after I was born. Don't you understand that?
Sure.
Yeah. As
like what? Like what, Sarge? What, for example?
Like first-person shooters. Because that's when Quake came out. But now, Quake's come out again.
Oh.
And the Steam page, quite amusingly, has the release date for Quake, which is like this new enhanced edition, as 22nd of June 1996. But yeah. With Quake Enhanced, experience the authentic, updated, and visually enhanced version of the original. So, QuakeCon was going on this weekend, which is like why a new Skyrim got announced.
Yeah.
There's also a bunch of streams and stuff like... Caedo, did you watch QuakeCon at all?
No.
Me neither. I wonder who did. Like, when the Bethesda tubers aren't tuning into, like, the Bethesda events, I'm like, man, who's watching? Like, I know there's going to be a fair few fans who still will watch.
We already know, like, what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time it's just like, oh, if it's QuakeCon, they might just talk about, Quake.
Yeah.
Which they did.
They did talk about Quake, and the Quake Enhanced is good for any fans of this classic shooter. It does cost £8 though, so I don't think I'm going to buy it. It's just too much for me. Too much.
Wow.
It's Quake. It's 25 years old. Even with it being enhanced, it still doesn't look good or anything.
Wow. You being a graphics snob right now, Sarge?
I'm just saying that it's a very dated game. And it's like the visuals aren't so amazing that I'm going to be drawn in.
That means you're very dated as well.
Yeah, I am. But that's fine. I'd love to be dated, ladies. Oh, God. That was terrible. Okay, yeah.
Sorry, I'm putting off that kind of vibe, aren't
I? Alright, Quake's out again. That's it. You know, a new game, an actual new game that's coming out, though. Because those still exist.
Yes, they do. And some of them look freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's Black Myth Wukong.
Yes.
Which is...
another...
Yeah.
Unreal Engine 5 gameplay. They showed off more of it.
Yeah. For those who aren't familiar, it really is a Chinese action-adventure game based around, like, Chinese mythology. I feel like Wukong is a name that people will be fairly familiar with.
Yes.
Like, I've never researched Wukong, but he just feels, like, very famous. It's the Monkey Man.
Well, Dragon Ball kind of made it a thing, too.
I haven't watched... I've only watched the best Dragon Ball, the live-action movie.
Oh, good. Then you know what's up. Then, yeah. So if you're familiar with any of the Monkey King stories, or characters or whatever, This apparently is more of that, but also really, really beautiful looking because it's Unreal Engine 5. And what they've shown when it comes to the action stuff, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody who likes a hack and slash, it's pretty dang cool looking.
Yep. Reminds me a lot of like a God of War.
Yeah. It's got that kind of vibe as well as Devil May Cry 5 kind of thing. A lot more atmospheric, volumetric.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm gonna use that word instead because it's got layers to its environment.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm disappointed with the environment. So the video we've got for this is 12 minutes of the gameplay, the test trailer, and right near the start, Wukong is fighting against a giant monkey man?
Yes.
A giant monkey man, and they're fighting in the snow. And some of the effects are really quite cool in the snow. But because they're in the snow, and it needs to compress and stuff when feet go down, I just can't help but constantly staring at his feet and being like, well, he's just clipping through all of that all the time.
Wow.
Like, the problem is that it is quite good at points, but that just draws my attention to the snow, so I notice all mistakes. Like, if they hadn't put any effects in the snow, like, anything substantial at all, apart from when, like, just a move hits or something, if they only went for that, then I wouldn't be paying attention to it. But every once in a while, Wukong will just start moving forwards, and there'll be a little, like, kick-up of snow that pops up. But then I'm looking and being like, oh, why aren't there, like, footprints in there? Because there's no footprints when he's running about. And I hyper-focus on it because they've made it just good enough that all the mistakes are now really obvious. I feel like we're not at the point of gaming yet where things are actually realistic. Like, people talk about it, but people talked about that decades ago as well. It's clear that at the moment in time, gamers will just convince themselves that yes, this looks real, because it's the best looking thing I've seen so far. But in reality, we got a long way to go.
I don't know, man. Hellblade looked pretty dang realistic.
Pretty dang, not actually realistic. I've played some Hellblade. It looks good. It's not there yet.
Pretty dang.
You've got your eye for animations. I've got my eye for how things actually look. And
Mr. Reality over here.
Yeah, there is no video game which captures the same look that you actually get in the real world. We're just not at that point. And that's fine. It doesn't make games bad. And this game does look really, really cool. Like, the landscapes in particular, when they're doing, like, the cinematic shots of the landscapes, I love it. And there is later on a fight with a dragon in this thing as well, which I think looks so much better. And because he's going over ice, it's not as big a deal that there's, like, not footprints and stuff. Because it makes sense. Yeah, we've not perfected how games look yet. So whenever someone's like, oh, graphics and gaming and stuff, why do developers keep going for it? It's because it's not good enough yet.
Wow.
Yep. Hey, I've spent a lot of time in the real world staring at trees, and I know exactly how bark looks, and there's not a single tree in a video game which actually looks right. There never will be. Calling it
Photoscan
out.
trees don't count? Is that what you're saying?
It doesn't count, it's still not quite there.
Okay. Well, you know what does count and is grounded in reality?
Oh! What's that, Caedo?
Razer's RGB face mask beta test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the Razer Zephyr is formerly known as Project Hazel. It is a mask with RGB lighting, but the thing that made it cool was what it has is speakers that will amplify your voice. So no more hearing you muffled while you're trying to speak to someone, especially if you're soft spoken like I am. This might be something worth looking into. And the beta test is currently available. I believe they are looking for influencers or creators for the sign up, because they ask for your Twitter or Instagram, I think.
Yeah.
When you do the sign up, but I'm still keeping my eye on it because it does look pretty dang cool, and I'm not expecting to not wear a mask for a while, so
Yeah.
that would be something a little more permanent would be cool. instead of something disposable or made from, basic cloth that can wear out pretty easily. Yeah, just something cool.
I think it looks a bit ridiculous, personally.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. I don't actually have that much negative to say about it. I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, how dare people have, like, glowing lights on their mask and stuff. I'm, like, fine with it, but I'm a bit like, that seems a bit excessive. My first, like, learning about masks to stop stuff was from, like, actual gases and things, and the old-fashioned method I learnt about was, pissing on a cloth and holding it over your mouth and nose to stop, like, dangerous gases getting in. So, I mean, this is certainly a step up, and I'm glad to see technology improved from those days. But it's more than I'd personally need to go for. I've got a mask. I use it whenever I go outside, or even just downstairs, and I'll be sticking with it.
Smart. Okay, that's the news.
That's the news.
That's it for today.
There is literally no more news. Anything else you got told that wasn't included in this PIPCAST wasn't real.
Yeah.
We are the only source of news. Do not listen to the other news sites, only listen to the PIPCAST.
Oh no.
Every 2 weeks we will mandate what news you are allowed to hear.
This is getting too real, Sarge.
I'm sorry. Take us to the Fallout topic before I go too dystopian.
Okay, what features from 76 would you like to keep from Fallout 5? The radio.
Dystopian worlds!
Oh, jeez. You're not Captain Obvious, he's in my server.
Okay, sorry. Yes, Caedo, carry on with what you were saying.
I just said radials.
Yeah. I mean,
radial menus.
You are a controller player.
Whoa.
So I get why you like them.
They're even good with mouse though. Like the freaking 4-direction favorites bullcrap. I hate it.
I don't use 4-direction favorites. The reason you have a mouse and keyboard is so that you've got 1 through 0 to give you 10 different hotkeys there. Plus there's the minus and the equal as well. So you actually have 12 hotkeys, Caedo. You have 12 hotkeys and you just press them once.
I only use like 5.
I use like 12 because I know what I'm doing. Equals is Radix, minus is Radaway, 0 Stimpack, then 1 through 9 I'll initially keep for potentially weapons, but generally I only have like 3 or 4 weapons, so it'd be like 1 through 4 could be weapons, 5, 6, 7 maybe a grenade, and then 8 or 9 might be chems if I'm going to use anything. And I also arrange my weapons so that 1 would be close range, potentially a melee thing, and then the furthest weapon through the numbers would be the longest thing, so 4 could potentially be a sniper. Like, seriously, get your hotkeys set up. PC gamers out there, get your hotkeys set up properly, because so many people don't do it. I have comments on, like, old builds of mine. There's always people who are like, wait, how did you just change your weapon like that? And I'm like, I just hit the hotkey.
Hotkeys with radial?
I mean, yeah, you can keep the radial. To be fair, the radial I don't hate. I just want to say, hotkeys, man. Hotkeys are so good.
Hotkeys are good, too. I will agree.
So much better than the radial.
Whoa, okay, they're good.
They're better.
They're good, sir.
Better than the radial.
Not
The only reason I use the radial is to double check my hotkeys are set up correctly.
They complement each other.
Yeah. No, I'm perfectly fine with having the radial in Fallout 5. Like, it's not something that detracts from my experience in any way, so, yeah. I'd be okay with that. I cannot see a negative to having it.
Yeah. And what else?
Well, one thing which I'm sure plenty of people may disagree with when I say is I want plans and recipes in Fallout 5 in the same, or at least a very similar way, to what 76 has. Yeah, there we go, there's the disagreeing.
I disagree.
Yeah, this is more like it. Tell me I'm wrong, Caedo. Tell me I'm wrong.
There's already too many.
I mean, you don't have to have necessarily the same number. I mean, that depends on, like, weapons and items and all of that stuff. What I really don't like is how in Fallout 4, you just pick up a pipe pistol, go to weapons bench, and know every single possible way you could modify it.
Okay.
And are aware of all of them instantly.
Okay. I'm getting the idea now.
Yeah. I really do like the idea that you pick up a plan, and it's potentially like blueprints of how to make a better receiver or whatever, and then you consume it and you learn it. I think that's genuinely quite a cool thing. I would also want to keep in the scrapping system and the consuming system of learning things, which 76 has, where from scrapping weapons you have a chance to learn something about how they're made, and sometimes when you eat a food item you learn the recipe for it too. which is the one which people don't often realise in 76, but is a thing.
Really?
Yes, really. I don't know what food items it counts for or what percentages are or anything like that, but there are times where in 76, if you eat a food item that you don't know the recipe for, you could potentially learn the recipe for it.
That's pretty cool.
And that, combined with the whole plans, gives you more reason to explore and check for, like, generic loot, or even just, like, random loot you get. And it also gives the potential to put, like, some really good modifications, like, hidden away in unique areas. Like, maybe if you want a 50 caliber modification for a sniper rifle, you need to do a specific quest to unlock an area which has that plan in it, and the plan doesn't randomly spawn. You can do those kind of cool things.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think plans are really good. And it also gives an additional point to the whole uniques thing we've talked about before, where having, like, certain unique plans makes any weapon better, but to get the plan you have to do the same sort of thing you'd need to get a unique. And potentially there could be factions who are maybe specifically good with certain weapons or armor things, and going to that faction you'll find a bunch of plans for sale that only they have. Like, you could just take it from Fallout 4 as the example. The Brotherhood could have plans for, like, various power armor mods. The Railroad could have plans for, like, pistols and, like, lighter armor things, like lighter build plans, all of that kind of stuff. The Institute would have, like, high-tech energy-based plans for energy weapons and resistances. And the Minutemen would have plans for how to make, like, a little flamingo on your lawn.
Because otherwise you get that from a magazine.
Yep. That's the thing, we've already got magazines which give you a couple of things in Fallout 4. 76 just went way bigger on it to make it an actual gameplay mechanic. And I genuinely like that, and think it could be implemented very well.
Yeah.
I'd still like there to be, like, a basic level of modification for everything you already know, rather than having 0 things unlocked.
Maybe it's that I don't want more useless mods. Because, like, for most weapons, there's an automatic go-to.
Yeah, I think the whole modding thing needs to change. Because generally it is like, yeah, scroll down to the bottom, that's generally the one you go for.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, am I automatic or single shot? That's my choice. Yeah, I think they do need to change the entire modding thing to make it specialised rather than just better. Like, I want a rifle with tons of range, but maybe the recoil's a lot worse. I want a pistol that fires very fast but does slightly lower damage. I want a shotgun which explodes in my hands. You know, specializations.
The Jinxed shotgun. Very nice.
Yeah. No. Overall, I think that plans could be very cool. It's another thing where they have to, like, take the time to implement it correctly, but I do genuinely think it's a really good feature from 76. That would work arguably better in a single-player game, in my opinion. Because it's a lot easier to lock off plans based on, like, level and stuff in certain locations. Mm-hmm. And then, for people who, like, really want to, like, overpower themselves, there's a whole, like, debate going on within the community of, oh, how do you get this plan really easily? How do I get this plan at an earlier level than I normally would do? Which I think is always a fun little thing to discuss within communities. Rather than, why this game's better than that game and everyone who likes that game sucks. Which is not the fun topic that
like
the Fallout community goes to. Yeah.
Jeez.
I'd much rather be like, oh, how do you get this early in? Oh, what's the best plan to get? And all of those things. I think it would be great.
Brother Steel's best.
It is.
Anyway. I want the level of craftable explosives that 76 has.
Okay.
I honestly don't remember how many were craftable in Fallout 4, but I know for a fact the Merv was not. Like, you could get a total of 4 of them, and that's it.
Oh, that is a shame. Yeah, Fallout 4, I feel, had, like, maybe 8 throwables? Explosives?
I don't think you could make nuke mines either. I think you could only find them.
Man. Yeah. I mean, piggybacking off of your thing as well, throwing knives.
Oh, dude, make them viable.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
Lord.
I mean, do you remember at the start of 76 how ridiculous throwing knives were?
Dude.
Like, when you get out of the vault, it used to be like 1 still per throwing knife, and they'd one-shot kill anything in the forest, pretty much.
It was so good.
And you felt like a badass just going around with like 100 throwing knives and no gun, and just killing everything. Oh, yeah. throwing knives and hatchets and meat cleavers, whatever. I want those throwables in there. Because then you can do like a ninja build as well, where you can do like melee and throwables, but not have grenades and stuff. Like, Fallout 4 had caltrops and bear traps, which I tried to make work, but they're not very good. Like, traps in general in Fallout are difficult to have function properly.
Yeah.
Because you're very rarely, like, in a fixed location being assaulted. Normally, you are the one moving through a fixed location that you are assaulting. It's very rare you're on the defensive in a Fallout game. So the traps don't work very well. But a throwing
knife... Except for, well, camp defense, but a lot of the time, enemies are too sporadic and don't really path correctly anyway, so...
You've got such a wide open space for trying to narrow people down to a corridor.
They don't path how you want them to, and if you have settlers, they're going to confuse them anyway, so...
Yeah. No, the traps didn't work too well. But throwing knives and even more craftable explosives and all of that stuff does sound great, I think. Oh, also, being able to craft the guns. That's something that you get in plans as well. You learn how to craft the guns.
Yeah, before you couldn't craft the guns. You had to...
Yeah, the expansion let you, like, make weapons with a giant factory. But just being able to make them at a workbench was much more convenient. Yeah. And the fact that intelligence affected condition and stuff... Actually, that's a point. Condition.
Yeah, weapon condition.
Do we want the weapon condition and armor condition from 76 to
I like it.
Fallout 5?
I personally like it.
Okay. I do too, and I actually think it'll be better in a single-player game than the multiplayer one. Because the problem I have with it in 76 is that the game doesn't have, like, a point where it's like, yes, and now you stop playing because the game is over, and you start up a new character or anything. It's like 76 is designed for you to have one character who does all of the stuff, and just keeps getting better loot and grinding out and all that kind of thing. Which leads to your equipment degrading a lot, and just constantly needing junk to repair it, and it becomes a complete cycle. Whereas in a single-player game, that's not as big an issue. Like, repairing is just a small thing you end up doing from time to time, and when you're done with the character, you don't need to keep repairing the items, because you can finish and play a different character. I feel like repairing works better in single-player than multiplayer.
Yeah. Boss monsters.
Yes. That I want as well.
The sheep squatch is probably my favorite.
The sheep squatch or the imposter sheep squatch?
The sheep squatch, the real one.
Oh, okay.
Because it has, it's
cool.
It's kind of a mini boss, I guess, but it's got at least 4 different moves, maybe 5,
possibly,
and a lot of them have an actual effect on your character.
Oh yeah, I mean, the one that always stands out to me is when it just shoots the spines out in all directions.
Yeah.
Because that like gives your character a brief stagger, which normally is a terrible thing, like see Yao-wise. But in this case, the sheep squatch is doing an animation during it, and it means that you're not dealing out damage, but the sheep squatch also doesn't just constantly get free hits at you, and it can't stagger lock you or anything. Like, it's one of the few examples of a stagger-based attack, which I think works very well.
Yeah. Earl, when he works right, that would be a fun situation with NPCs, even with some sort of scripted situation. Same with the Scorch Beast Queen situation. Imagine how good that would look in a single-player game when you're not dealing with latency.
Oh yeah, man. I feel like half the Queen fights I've gone to, I've either completely crashed out of, or I've had the screen just freeze up for multiple seconds, potentially over a minute. But having a big old boss fight like that on single player can totally work. And with the whole cinematic things you've talked about, I've been watching some Let's Play livestream stuff of some Dark Souls and Demon Souls games, and all of the bosses there start with a small opening like cutscene. And that's something you don't get in Fallout, but which I'd actually be down for. It's very rare I'm in the camp of, hey, take control away from the player. But just for a small cutscene to be like, yes, this is the big, bad mega boss person, I like the idea of that. Because I feel like Fallout doesn't have, like, bosses that work as boss fights. Like in Fallout 4, Kellogg, I suppose, is a boss?
Yeah, but like... he uses a stealth boy. That's pretty much it.
He's got a big gun and a couple of minions.
Yeah.
It would have been so much cooler if you could have maybe conversationed him and if someone had made like a video about that.
Yeah.
But
segue over to Sarge's Kellogg rewrite, which is really good and you should watch it, by the way.
I am proud of it. But
You should be.
But also, I'd mentioned just in passing. I'd mentioned just in passing before we started recording as well. Like, should there be music for boss fights in Fallout and stuff? Because I've been looking at Final Fantasy soundtracks, and the Final Fantasy games are, or the PS1 era especially, are amazing in their soundtracks for locations and bosses. And if you had like a set proper boss fight as a full beat in the Fallout story, or as a side mission or whatever, then you can have some music to go along with it, rather than just ambient Fallout music, which is good ambient music. And they've got like battle tunes and stuff, but you can really turn it up another notch with something fully memorable. Because can you right now like hum any Fallout tune that isn't a licensed song?
Not really.
Me either. If I asked you to hum a Final Fantasy tune, though, or kind of sing along with one, then you could. Yeah. Sephiroth! Just constantly. It's so memorable.
You picked the most iconic of the songs.
I did, but it's the case of Final Fantasy VII. I've only played through once. I've done that boss fight once. And Final Fantasy VII is my least favourite of the PS1 trilogy, and still that song is great.
Blasphemy.
And it makes that entire moment iconic. Wait, did you say Fossil Root?
No, I said blasphemy.
Oh, blasphemy. Oh, yes, that's right. I thought the games got better as they went along within the PS1 trilogy. How dare they keep improving
Fanboy
things.
Caedo's like, no, 7 is the best.
But, yeah, the Final Fantasy tracks, especially for the bosses, have some amazing, memorable moments. Whereas Fallout is very much just background music to stop you drifting off when you play. Like, they could do cool stuff with it. And having proper mini-bosses, like the ones in 76, but in single player, where the devs have more control of the environment, can lead to them making it much more cinematic, and just badass and awesome.
Yeah.
I'm now composing in my head like a track for the sheep squatch, where it can just be like... See? There you go! Bethesda, take it! That one's free! Just add that into the game. Don't process it at all.
Just do a bass riff. That's it.
Yeah. But it can like build up tension and make fight more dramatic. Because fights in Fallout, that's the thing, that another tangent, but there's like a study about sharks and how the most terrifying thing about them is the music. And that's like a huge reason why humans fear sharks. Like, if so many shark videos have like the dun 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 dun, that kind of music going with them, and if you take it away, the sharks come kind of comical, and people don't find them half as scary. Yeah. Music matters. And that's not really a feature from 76. That's
I have one. I don't want to forget it. Okay, I have one.
Go for it.
Being able to drop a nuke wherever you want on the map.
That is...
Dude.
Like...
Just one time, though.
Okay, I was about to say, there needs to be, like, a difference from how you do it in 76. Because 76, you obviously drop the nuke, and then, like, in half an hour or an hour or whatever, it's just like, things are perfectly fine and back to normal. But yeah, if you could do it in the single-player game, then yeah, it would need to be a permanent effect. And we've already seen it would be
irradiated forever.
I mean, you can blow up Megaton. You blow up the Institute. You blow up a lot of stuff, quite frankly, in Fallout.
You do, yes. But you've never gotten the choice of, like, actually, or the freedom of where.
Yeah, the closest would be in the Fallout 3 Endgame DLC, which I can't remember the name of now. Broken Steel, there we go. God damn it, Bethesda, if you make another Brotherhood-based DLC, I'm gonna rage so hard. Broken Steel.
Steel Expedition.
Steel Expedition. Expedition where you steal things! Oh god, if they start doing STEAL as for DLC names... God.
The Steel Yard.
Alright, but yes, God, I'm just angry now. In Broken Steel, there's the point where you get to choose a place to nuke, and you don't really get to see it and stuff, but that's like the closest I think a single-player game's really got to it so far. with the one-time thing. But being able to select just specifically anywhere on the map and do it, I think the actual interface that 76 has for launching nukes is pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
And the actual process of getting a code and doing it in-game and figuring it out could be something that could potentially work in a single-player Fallout.
Oh, just not that complicated, please.
I mean, I wouldn't want it to be that complicated, but even that complicated, in a single-player game, you have more than a week before the code changes. It can just be, like, one random code which is determined as soon as you, like, pick up the first piece or whatever, or as soon as you start the game. And then you could have time to figure it out. Like, a complicated puzzle like they threw in 76 could work for actual people to solve. Just like a generic player. Much better than it did in 76, where we now rely on a small team who are experts at it, and who read the actual code of the game and stuff to just update a bot which tells us what the codes are.
Yep. And it's that easy.
Yeah. What is it? Less than NC, I think is the command or something. And then you just get the nuke codes.
Yeah.
I've never sold a nuke.
Greater than codes on the modus bot.
Okay. Yeah. I've never solved a nuke, and the vast majority of people playing 76 never had.
Yeah.
But
not even necessary.
In a single-player game, you can do it, and it doesn't need to be as complicated, but it can still be complicated because you have actual time to do it, rather than a real-world week, which is really... It's really quite difficult to get all the codes and work it out without any external knowledge in a week. Man, that is a tough one. Alright. Okay. Feature from 76 we definitely need. The Atom Shop!
Sorry to know you're joking. I'm guessing you're just doing it just to make sure people are still listening to us ramble about this stuff.
Hey, if you are still listening at this point, make an angry comment about what I said.
Yeah. Yeah, bring the Atom Shop to Fallout 5. Let's do it. Let's go all in.
No, I hope they don't have
the Atom Shop and a Creation Club at the same time. I hope they don't have a
Creation Club either. I'm fine with DLCs. I don't even mind Fallout 4's DLCs having, like, the workshop-based ones. Like, they may not be great, and they may be cost a little overpriced, but I'll take them over constant Creation Club and Atom Shop things. One which I'm not sure about, like, if I'd want it to be in there or not, is how in Fallout 76 you have clothing which can go over the top of all your armor.
Cosmetic clothing.
Yeah, purely cosmetic clothing, which goes over the top of your armor and just gives your character a different look. I cannot decide if I like it or not. Especially as someone who makes character builds, because then the problem I find is, the armor underneath, just use whatever works best. However, the freedom to just dress up your character how you want, and not have to worry about having a matching set and all the aesthetics looking good while also giving stat bonuses, is a benefit, and I just go back and forth about it. I don't know if I love it or I hate it. I don't know if I'd want it in another game.
I think your character should look how you want them to look.
Yeah.
So I think I am on the side of cosmetics, even if some of them are kind of ridiculous, because people like looking ridiculous as well in Fallout games.
That's fair enough.
But even some armor might look really cool. So it might just be a choice. Just an aesthetic choice. You can have one flat piece, or you could have the cool layered armor that was introduced with Fallout 4 and slightly improved in 76.
Yeah. I think ultimately I'd be like, in the end, I think whether or not it appears in the next Fallout game isn't going to bug me that much. But I suppose it is better having the choice of wearing it over the top. Because you can always just not wear a aesthetic clothing piece and still have the armor on show. It's just a personal gripe of mine that I'll put like an outfit on a character and it'll just be like, use whatever armor you have which is best. Although I'd say there's a bigger problem with 76 and the legendary system, which of course is a feature from 76 we definitely don't want to see in Fallout 5.
No.
We're in Camp Unique, please.
Yes. Unique weapons, not legendaries. Maybe if craftable legendaries were customizable, I might be interested. But they're not even customizable in 76. They're just
Not
re-rolled.
probably, but yeah, it's more RNG.
It's just like, oh, you found the item you want, now just spend a bunch of resources to not get the effect.
Yeah. No, I mean, in general, I'm fully in the unique camp now. I'd like legendaries to be scrapped entirely.
Yeah.
I'm done with them. Yeah, the only game a series where I like that kind of RNG is Borderlands.
Yeah.
But that's kind of because Borderlands guns are all kind of ludicrous and crazy and fun to use.
Yeah. And they didn't even like have any concern of like because customization, weapon customization isn't a thing in Borderlands. It's like you get a weapon, but it's got so many different what's the word? Components that do different
I
effects.
know that you're trying to think of like, oh, there's a Jacob's grip which increases this thing. There's a Malibon stock or
they have like brackets of what the stats are going to be dependent on level and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like super numbers game, and I'm all about it.
I made a video a couple of years ago probably of how to fix the legendary system in 76. Some of the effects they've kind of taken parts of, but I mentioned how in Borderlands as well they had the thing where sure, there was generic loot you could get from anyone, but also certain bosses dropped certain legendaries.
Yes.
And how that is a way you could make legendaries in 76 and the legendary system work. And I mentioned like how it's ridiculous how a Rad Roach can drop me the greatest gun if it's legendary, but a legendary Deathclaw I could get just like a action point pipe range off of.
Just hone it in a bit. That's all you gotta do. Just hone it in a little bit, make it more specific.
Yeah.
And then, bam.
I think the example I gave was something like, oh, Brad Staggs could drop legendary leather armor, which kind of thematically makes some sense, and it's not particularly powerful, but a Brad Stag isn't powerful. Then a Deathclaw could drop like a legendary combat rifle, which is a very solid weapon for a very solid enemy. If Deathclaws were as strong as they used to be, could drop even more powerful stuff.
Yeah, oh god. Yeah, also God, they still haven't brought it into 76 Deathclaw armor, dude. Actual Deathclaw armor. Come on.
I mean,
I'm still mad about it.
Why would they bring it into 76? Oh, I just realized you meant armor made from the skin of a Deathclaw.
Yes.
I thought you were talking about armored Deathclaws.
Yeah, they have the Deathclaw Hunter armor that looks nothing Deathclaw-like. And you're just like, what is the point?
I mean, they've got the Deathclaw mask from Fastnacht.
Yeah, it makes you look like a freaking Deathclaw bobblehead.
Yeah.
It looks
that's it.
Derpy. It's just reshaped Deathclaw head that goes over your head. It's a cheap knockoff. I want actual Deathclaw armor.
Yeah, I'm down for that as well. Making armor from the things you kill. That's good.
Yeah.
Raider flesh armor!
Monster Hunter!
Yeah!
So imagine like mole rat armor.
Oh. God, they're so bright pinkish nowadays as well.
Probably get it from a psycho bandit or something.
Yeah. I mean, you'd stand out so much.
Yeah.
Like
but
mole rats if they're not. Oh man.
You'd be able to dig.
Oh god. Oh. I've got an actual rework of armor systems which I want to talk about for an Elder Scrolls video in the future.
Oh, fun.
But yeah. Well, I feel like we've kind of drifted off the topic of what features should they have, and now we're going into the, hey, 76, why are you doing this? So...
I had one other one that was like...
Okay.
But I think it was event related. Or something like that. Nope, it's not coming.
I would like a Blue Ridge Caravan style mission or potentially repeatable mission like you get in 76.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That's actually along the same lines. Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Actual caravans that you can work with for money, like it was in the classic games. Because like they have their ear to the ground, the 76 team does, on what things they wanted to bring back from the classic games, and they've done a really good job so far.
Man, that's sacrilege for so many people.
Those people probably aren't even gonna know what I'm talking about and just say no anyway. So Like they brought back floaters as enemies. They actually float and explode. They brought back actual Gauss weaponry that hasn't been seen since Fallout 2, unless you modded it. They have like so many different power armors that like I hope they grab some Midwest stuff too, which would be pretty awesome. Oh, what else? I'm sure there's stuff I'm missing. Yeah, it's just not coming to mind. Oh yeah, different freaking special new enemies. I think Fallout 4 did have a lot of variety when it came to enemies.
Oh,
never mind.
Yeah, it had a fair few. I mean, you have,
and then 76 just added more on top of that.
Like, I feel like that's been a thing for most of the 3D Fallout games. I feel like it's just got more spread out. Because I remember back in like Fallout 3, how a basic Rad Scorpion, who cares? Albino Rad Scorpion, oh my god, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And now we've just hit the point where there's categories in between as well.
Yep.
Which is pretty good. But it's something that should continue. Yes. Different variants of the enemies does make it more exciting. Rather than 100 basic throwables.
Yeah. The cryptids were a very interesting thing for the West Virginia.
Yeah,
wasteland,
you know what?
So.
Game-specific cryptids.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. Where they only show up in this one game, in this one region, and it just goes on like that. That'd be cool. Especially if they do take, like, local mythology and stuff.
Could you imagine if they took out Mirelurks entirely and replaced them?
Oh my god. I mean, while they've never taken them out and replaced them, they do seem to change just about every single game.
They've been a staple since 3.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They've always changed a bit. Like, we got Blood Rage Mirelurks now.
And they look so sick.
They do look pretty badass.
Yeah. And you rarely see them too, because they're in that like midpoint level.
Enemies with like black skins or shells and stuff and red eyes. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. But the queen is still the scariest.
Oh god.
Or the queen and multiple kings at once, I think.
And lag, so that you're running away from poison stream and then it hits
and you just poison die.
Yeah.
So dumb. There's only a few things that'll just straight up one-shot you in 76.
Yeah.
One of them is the queen and king poison.
Well, nobody builds around poison because it's such a specific thing, and there's very few ways to get it up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And the Yaogwai, obviously. You can get just
smack. You died. Yeah.
Gutsies are the main one for me.
Oh man, Gutsies and the armor penetration.
Yeah.
I hope they don't keep that. I'm okay with them penetrating like some of the armor, but the fact that they're so ridiculously powerful in 76, no matter what.
Massive threat.
Especially as it means that even if you're playing, like, it means that you be a bloody build and you'll be okay against them. You be any other build and they're a nightmare.
Yeah. Hey, I have a suggestion.
Yeah?
Instead of Gutsies with massive armor penetrating, add some Gutsies or Handies that repair other robots and make it, a more lengthy fight instead of one where you have to zero in on one dude or he's gonna kill you instantly.
Combat-based Miss Nanny.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, enemies with more interesting tactics is always a solid.
Yeah. Yeah. Explosive turrets aren't... Yeah, they're still a pain. They can stagger you and completely ruin your armor.
Yeah. I think the explosive turrets having the stagger is the problem. I'd be okay with explosive turrets potentially as, like, a kind of method to stop people going places, like how in New Vegas there's the Cazadors and the Deathclaws to the north.
Yeah.
To make you go south. I'd be okay with them in, like, just that sort of instance, where they're specifically not something you're supposed to be able to beat, and they're placed out of the way enough that you know not to go there. But in general, they are very annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that will probably have to be it. Seeing as we're
still complaining about 76.
We're just going.
We're doing literally the same thing.
Yeah. Some of the stuff is great. Some of the stuff we really don't want to see. Yes.
In our time with the game, we have enjoyed it, and we've also not enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Mixed bag in every sense. But something else that's a mixed bag is the things we've been doing.
Yeah.
/ playing / working on. Sarge, what have you been doing the last 2 weeks?
Not much.
Yeah, same.
No, I made one video I'm proud of. I probably made more than one video in the 2 weeks, but one video that I'm proud of, which is a little comments-based video.
Yes.
Where, what did I call it? It was the worst comments on my channel.
Starting that beef with your commenters.
Oh yeah, there's even like content creators and mod creators in that list of people who commented on my channel. Have you actually watched the video, Caedo?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had to go at Eddie. Yeah, that's right, Eddie.
Yeah.
I called you out. I critiqued your comment, which I think went a little overboard.
Yeah.
And, was it Fallout New California?
Well, we already know if Eddie doesn't like
Something
something,
like
it's automatically bad. So,
Yeah.
You know.
But I also, like, pointed out just a bunch of really bad comments on my channel.
Yeah.
Mostly made by people who were either very angry and just letting the anger flow through their fingertips,
Yep.
or by people who were genuinely stupid. Like, there's a couple on there where I think I said, like, in the video, I've been a bit too harsh on this person, because it is very much just a light-hearted, let's poke fun at some ridiculous comments video, as opposed to me going, no, you're all wrong, how dare you? It's me having fun with it. But on one of them, I was a bit harsh, and then the comments were like, no, you're not harsh, that person is completely no idea what we're on about. Yeah, that's a very fun video. I recommend watching it if you want a bit of a laugh. It's a commentary video, which is different. It's not even cast as gaming on my channel. It's literally in the comedy category. Yes.
That's the room where you look at comments.
Yep. Yeah, it's in a completely different category. Yeah, that's the latest video I made, which I'm quite proud of. And I've also been playing one game quite a bit the past few days, which is Octopath Traveler, which I mentioned before on an earlier episode of PIPCAST.
I think
it's a very good JRPG. I've been going through it, getting very good at it. I currently have 1.5 hands that I can use.
What?
So on my right hand, the connection between my thumb and my wrist is messed up, and I can't really use my right hand for much. I've literally got it in like a splint brace thing at the moment. Okay. So I've got very little like mobility and stuff I can do with it, and if I move it too much, I just get like pain.
That's the weirdest way of saying you have your hand in a brace. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I have like 3.5 hands.
Hey, don't you insult me and my 7.5 hands. But yeah, so I was looking for a game that I could play one-handed, which was Octopath Traveler, because I can't play anything else right now.
Dude, it sounds like we've been in a very similar boat. And I don't know if I like it.
It's not fun.
No.
It's not. I mean, I took a break from streaming, which I'm currently still on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know when I'll be coming back, because I kind of need my hand to work mostly in order to play video games on the computer. Because I can, like, move a mouse and stuff, but I can't, like, move it precisely, and clicking's kind of slow for me.
Ooh.
So...
You know what helped me?
What?
Controller.
I can only play controller one-handed, though, so I can't do anything fast.
Oh.
Like, I can't press any of the buttons on the right-hand side or use the right joystick.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm literally playing just with my left hand on Octopath Traveler, and because it's like a turn-based JRPG, I can just select a thing and use it, and there's no like time pressure, so I can take my time. It's basically the only game I can play at the moment. But it's really good!
Oh, that's good.
Which is the bright side of it. And there's so much leveling to do. My highest level character is like 30-something, and I just encountered an NPC who I can't get to travel with me until I'm above level 70 with one of my lower ranked characters.
Oh.
So, and I'm like 25, 26 hours through the game. So, yeah, plenty more leveling.
Just a quick JRPG. Just a quick one.
Yeah, just a quick one. I've only just got onto the second stage of the story after 25 hours.
I wonder if those words ever actually go together. Just a quick JRPG.
I mean, I was watching the speed run of Final Fantasy VIII earlier
Speed
today.
runs don't count, okay?
Which, it's 9 hours.
Just a quick one.
Yeah, just a quick speed run. You know, this is the fastest we can possibly beat this game. 9 hours. More than a full work day.
That's funny.
Yeah. But that's why I love those speedruns. And Kazmutski's in them. But
Yeah.
That's it for me. What you been doing, Caedo, with these games that I don't actually recognise the name of?
Well, I think I already talked about Dustwind before, so I'm not going to talk about that one this time. You'll just have to wait for my Games for Fallout Fans Part 2 whenever that comes out. Something else that I've been strongly considering as a number 1 or number 2 spot in said video, or follow-up, is Kenshi. And I'm going to say in the video too, the developers of Kenshi need to make a better trailer for their game.
Oh.
The camera is super zoomed in so you can get all the low poly goodness of the characters. It doesn't give a very good example of what the game is about. And it's something that needs to be stated in a trailer.
Nah.
Especially for a game of this level. It is a mixture of, it's post-apocalyptic, obviously. It is a mixture of survival, city builder, and real-time strategy, along with some RPG elements. Like, it's heavy in the mechanics department. There's some things I still don't fully understand in this game, but I love discovering them. So when you first start the game, you're just one dude, and you have to survive. There's no like directing main quest or anything like that. You just spawn in, you gotta survive, kind of like a survival game. Then you find some resources, get a little bit of money, then you can start hiring some allies, or you can have some mercenaries that'll temporarily help you for a day or two, and then you start working on your home and getting some sort of establishment. But then once you've established your base, you name it and everything, then bandits start coming in and asking you for tributes. There were some like holy knights that came by and they were just like, can you pray with me please? And it's like prayer day, so they come by every week. and as long as you have the book with you, you're fine. But I also found out that they are racially biased against one of the other races in the game, so I greeted them with one of those people, and they were just like, foul demon, and then they're like, we're leaving and we're going to kill you now. I'm just like, okay, factions are neat. The combat is very interesting in the sense that you can cripple and maim limbs entirely, and then you can also get robotic limbs in this game later on. I haven't gotten any of my own, but I've seen them in shops and stuff like that. So you can literally sever your own arm off and replace it with metal if you want to.
Cool.
Not everything is always lethal. Like enemies and your own units can play dead after a combat scenario. And in that case, you can like carry the bodies out of your base, just like kick them out after taking the stuff that's valuable off of them, obviously. You can get various different animals. I currently have a bone dog, which is a extremely vicious dog that is guarding one of my characters on a regular basis and likes eating corpses and limbs that are left around the field. What else? Oh, the skill building system. Yeah, the skill building system. All of the skill building makes sense in like how Oblivion was trying to do it, I guess. To where like you're using these things and they get better. Your defenses get better when you're getting the crap kicked out of you by enemies. It's gamified as heck because in reality that's not how anything works ever. But like your attack stats go up with specific weapons, and just general attack goes up when you're fighting someone or using like a training dummy up to a certain level. Your athletics goes up if you're traveling light, if you're not carrying a heavy load and you're running. Your strength will go up if you're over encumbered and traveling. Like all of this stuff, it's so freaking cool. Like it makes sense. And I've finally established my base to a point and have enough people there to where I can actually defend against the standard like bandit attacks, but it's still like the holy warrior things, holy warrior dudes that cause me to have to go hire some mercenaries to defend my place because I simply don't have the stopping power for these guys. And gates are pretty much useless. Like if they're dead set on getting into your town, they're gonna get in. So anyway, yeah, that was very long-winded. Kenshi is freaking awesome. I have played it about, I think I've only played it for like 3 days, and I have 45 hours in it.
That's quite a bit.
Maybe 4 days. I would say 4 days actually.
That's like almost half your time.
Yeah, over half for most days. Like, I knew for a fact that if this game got me, I was going to play it hard, and I am. So,
well, you've sold me on it, and I've added it to my wish list.
Kenshi developers, get a freaking better trailer, I swear to God.
I will say it was made mostly by one guy who used to be a security guard.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I figured that'd be a interesting thing.
Strange.
Yeah, Chris Hunt, which is not a name you want in the UK, worked part-time as a security guard in order to make ends meet for the first few years of game's development.
Nice.
Ah.
If he was working for Securitas, I'm gonna laugh.
Oh, man.
One guy, I didn't realize that part. Maybe I should read.
A team was added on like later to help with all of the stuff, but for the most part, it was one dude doing it and going through with their vision and just getting through with it before a team could finally be added on. It's kind of cool. The wiki page for it is quite interesting.
Also, night footage. Don't use frickin' night footage in God, don't do that. You want to make it thematic, don't use night footage.
No.
Put some like fog in the background or something. Do not make God.
Filter.
It's a good game. Tired of looking at the trailer though.
Okay. Well, at least it's one of the rare cases where a game is better than the trailer makes it look.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, it's so good.
All right, well, that's good.
Yeah, it's neck and neck with Chernobylite for me.
Oh man,
because Chernobylite was really good too.
2 games I've had to add to my wish list now.
Yeah. Okay, well that's unless you have something else to add, Sarge, I think that's pretty much it.
That is it. Okay.
Well, thank you everyone for watching and or listening. Mostly listening, I think. It's generally a static image, even though Sarge has some pretty cool, funny titles that went up for the timestamps. Follow us on our Discord, social medias, and all that stuff. And we'll catch you in 2 weeks for another PIPCAST 3000, 10 a.m. Pacific on Sunday. And until then, you all stay safe, and we'll see you later.